Another stream. Okay, we're a little wobbly right now, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I have set up for kind of like glazing, underglazing, that kind of stuff. And that's what we'll be doing in this stream. I was working on this over the weekend and I kind of just want to like finish it up and like get it out of my space before we get back to doing clay stuff. Also, I've literally like nearly 2 days worth of like hours and hours of glazing. So I think we're good for the other videos I wanted to use like that footage for. So I'll just kind of like show you what I have going on. We have a few glazes here at my table. I have a couple underglazes, lots of brushes. I just have this bat here because it's plastic and easier to clean off than, whoops. Easier to clean off than my wearboard, which has canvas on it. I was in the middle of using that glaze, so we're going to continue with that, White Cloud. And then I have a couple of things, little sticky notes that I use to like help me remember like how many coats we've done. So glazing needs at least 3 coats. Typically, that's what I do. Although sometimes they say like 2 to 3. I always do 3. And then the underglazes, I want to do 5 coats. That really just depends on like what you want out of it. But for my test tiles I've done, I see that like 5 coats looks really good. So that's kind of like what I'm doing. I don't have any special brushes. They're just like cheap brushes, kind of like whatever works for like size and like if it's rounded or if it's a flat brush is just kind of like whatever. I'm using this to like kind of stir up the clay. So yeah, so that is what I have at my table here. And then I am in the middle of like work, like on my lunch break. So I have like my table set up kind of more for my computer, but I have like sticky notes. I'm going to show you kind of like the full process. So what we have here is bisque pieces that I ran them under the faucet. You want to run running water over them. Just get any dirt or any dust or like, I don't know, or maybe like hair or something off of it before you glaze, just because the glaze can like go over that and then it's gonna kind of stop it from reaching like the pot, kind of might give you some pinholes. And then we're gonna put some wax resist on the bottom of those. I'll show you how to do that. I'll just show you like a few of them. And then on top of my hamster's cage is these are all the test tiles I need to do. Some of them already have 1 coat of one glaze, but it needs a second coat. Some of them don't have any on them yet. So it really just depends. I don't know. Hi, Robert. I'm going to be showing you guys kind of like my glazing setup. That's what I'm showing right now. And we're going to be doing some glazing, underglazing stuff. And then I have like my test tiles that tell me on the bottom. So like this is on top. This is the glaze that's on the bottom. We have underglaze test tiles over there. Some of these, like that one has underglaze on it, and I'm going to put a glaze on top of it. Same with that one. A lot of these, if they're tipped upside down, that means that the rim has been waxed already. I really like the waxing thing that's going on. So like all of these kind of like tell me what glaze is going to go on them. Like this little vase over here is going to have honey on the bottom and then nebula blue on the top, stuff like that. Yeah. And it's a little bit harder to see today, but some of these you can kind of see a little bit of the remnant of the purple from the wax. It's going to be a lot more obvious once, like when it's like fresh on there. Okay, so let me just put my phone back into the little holder here. I'm gonna grab my brush. Yeah, so we're gonna do some wax resist right now. So I'm just gonna like put these off to the side and then we'll get to those. I just have like some parchment paper. I don't really know like what would be easy to clean wax off of. So whatever, like, I don't know, whatever you want to use. So I have some wax on resist. This is the kind, you can either get wax on or wax off. And, well, this one is the one where you can just like, you can put it in the kiln. Like you don't have to scrub it off or anything. You just put it on and then it's gonna save you from having to like do the bottoms of the pots, like taking a sponge to like remove the glaze from the bottoms of the pots. So this is just gonna save us time. I've actually never used this before, but it's like, it's looking good. I don't think there's a way to do it wrong. So I'm just like, right now I'm just like shaking it because it says that it needs to be like shaken well. So we're just gonna grab some of this. I think, okay, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the other kind, wax off, is the one that's like latex based and you have to like tear it off when you're done. I'm pretty sure that's the other one, or at least that, or else that's a third version, but I'm pretty sure that's the other one. Hi Robert. Oh, the spaghetti sounds good. I just got a delivery order of some food from work. We had like a party last week, but it was like so crazy with work that I just used like my delivery credits for like today. Also, a lot of the delivery people get lost when they're coming here, and I was like, I can't be running around the entire building looking for the delivery person. We had like for 2 days we had 4-hour-long meetings, and I was like, I can't be running around the building looking for my food. So that's like really exciting. Okay, so I just have a little brush here and we're just putting the wax on anywhere I don't want the glaze to go. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about like how many coats you need to do. I haven't used this like before, but I think it's working all right. Because I do have some pots that I've already applied this to and that I've already glazed, and the glaze is kind of like running away from it, and that's what you want it to do. I just kind of like look at it and see like how thick it is. Where it's more purple, you can like see where it definitely is. I'm gonna add like maybe like a smidgen over here. Because I'm gonna put some glaze down here in the bottom of this, the bottom of the foot. Just like anywhere where it's like a bit lighter, I'm gonna add more to it. Okay. Sorry, I'm like I'm like trying to look at it. Okay. Maybe if I can't move this over here. Okay, and the general rule of thumb for glazing pots is you want to leave a buffer that is at least an eighth of an inch from the bottom of the pot. I don't really know where that is. I think I usually do like a quarter of an inch. I don't know, maybe somewhere between there. It kind of depends on like the glaze that I'm using. Some of them have like very large warning labels on them that say this glaze will run. So those ones make me a little bit more like scared. So I might do like a bit more. Let me see. We're kind of close, but I think I might add a little bit more to it. Okay, so kind of like there's like the chat. I can like try and avoid the chat. So maybe like there. Let me see what glazes I have planned for it. I do have 2 coats planned. Or not 2 coats. I have 2 glazes planned to go over the whole thing. So that's like good to keep in mind. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know. Just kind of like, I just use like my best judgment and just like hope for the best. Something you can do in addition to this is use a kiln cookie. I mentioned that in the last video. A kiln cookie is just like, well, it could be like any shape you want, but like, typically it's just like a round, like flat disc, and it is just like bisque fired clay. And then, so the kiln cookie is bisque fired, and then you put your piece on top of it. When you're gonna fire it, for anything that you think is going to drip onto the kiln shelf, it'll go onto the kiln cookie instead and save the kiln shelf from from your glaze. I actually haven't used one of those. I should probably make some, maybe. I don't know how much I want to put on this. I don't know. Maybe I should do like a little bit more. Okay. Maybe like a tiny bit more. I think I need to put more on the brush. Okay. So I'm kind of like just kind of taking a look at like how thick it is, and then like looking at it like at an angle where it looks flat, and just kind of like seeing like how it looks all the way around it. So I think this one's good. And then it does dry fairly quickly, but I'll just set this. I don't think we're gonna glaze those ones, but I'll do like another one. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just like start this one. I don't know. Okay, I'll finish this one and then we'll get to doing some glazing. Okay. I'm just gonna like dab some down on here because I don't want it to be like too crazy. I'm just like trying my best to make it even. Okay. I think that looks good. I don't think I have to worry about putting too much on the bottom, even though this coat does look like pretty light. For the most part, we really just want like focus on like where the glaze is gonna touch it. What does, oh yeah, this one has like, this one's gonna have 2 glazes on it. Okay. Okay, we made it a little bit higher. That's okay. I do think that the glaze I'm going to put on the top is going to run a bit. Maybe not like crazy, but I think it will move a bit. So we'll just kind of like match the size of the rest of this. Okay, I think, okay, let me just touch it up a little bit. Okay. So now we're done with that. Okay, typically you want to wash your brush like right away, but I'll just do it when we're done here. You want to wash it with like soap and water and stuff. But I don't really want to just like leave you guys hanging while I run off and do that. Okay, so I'm gonna shake up my glaze. I don't know why it sounds so liquidy. It was very toothpaste like yesterday. So I don't know why it sounds like that. Okay. Right. So I used to like mix my glazes with like kind of like a little bit of a mixer, but I saw a lot of people on Reddit said that you don't have to do that with a pint. But I just want to like at least stir it a bit in addition to shaking it. I don't know. They say with the smaller amounts, you don't have to like be too crazy about it. Okay, so I'm so excited to show you guys this. This is a little cup that I am working on. So it's totally fine to put like pencil on your piece to like draw out like whatever. Because it's just going to, it doesn't affect the glaze at all, and it's going to burn up in the kiln, and you're not even going to see it. So this is an awesome way to draw out your plans. So you can see that I've already done one of the glaze coats. You know, I'm just realizing, I have to do a second coat on these ones. So I'm just going to mark like under it which one needs that second coat or like a second glaze on it, because like once all of these are filled, then they're just going to look the same. So I wouldn't want to put on the wrong one. Okay. Cool. So let me see. Yeah, I think that one's maybe too big. Maybe I'll do this one. Yeah. Wait a minute. This glaze doesn't even go on here. Oh my god. What a mess. Okay, well, never mind, I guess. Maybe I could put it on top of the white satin or something. No. Let me think. Okay, actually, maybe I'll put a little bit over the white satin. Okay, whatever. Never mind. Okay, we're gonna do this bowl. Okay, we're gonna do my bowl now instead. Oh my god, this bowl doesn't even have the it doesn't even have the wax resist on it. Okay, never mind. Let me just grab something that has the wax resist on it. Okay, I do have things that have the wax resist on it. Okay. Okay, these two things for sure need that. I'll do that one. This is one of my favorite glazes, so there are quite a few things that I plan on coating with this one. Okay, so some glazes are specifically made for dipping, and some will say if they're for brushing on. This one says you can do both. I just read it. So sometimes it's good to like double check that, maybe like before you buy it. So glazing is super weird because it's liquid, but then it turns into kind of like a powder once it latches on to the piece. It's probably kind of hard for you guys to see. I'm trying to like do it closer up. But you can see it's like drying very quickly. And then I just like go around and we're gonna do inside and the outside with 3 coats. And then if there are any spots that are missing glaze, I'm just going to touch it up a little bit, throw some in there. Generally, they're not too fussy. Some of them, some glazes, I believe Celadons specifically, or I mean, sometimes like other colors. Sometimes glazes will change color depending on like how thick the application is. So in that case, you would want to, I don't know, be like cognizant of that. If you're trying to brush it on. You should probably be dipping if you want it to be actually even. Let me see. I used to do dip glazes at the university where we did ceramics. So I am pretty new to brushing them on. Like every single glaze that I get from the store is like, they're all like a different consistency, and it's kind of weirds me out. I'm not 100% sure or confident about like how any of this is going. Just so you guys know, like, I don't know. I just feel like when I put this on YouTube, I'm gonna get people that are like, oh, you're doing it wrong, or I don't know, or something. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like trying to do this my best. I think I'm mostly concerned about the consistency. Because sometimes you can get issues if there's too much water in it, or there's not enough water in it. That can kind of be an issue too. Yeah, what was I saying? About Celadon glazes. Some Celadon glazes are like, they're made for texture, so they're pretty transparent, and it's really like if you put them over texture where they pool, they're going to have more color, and then they're going to have less color like above, like on like bumps or whatever. So they're kind of gonna like change in that way. This glaze should be pretty consistent, and just when it goes into the kiln and the kiln heats it up to that like peak temperature and stuff, it's really weird. Like this powder stuff is going to like melt, and that is when once it like melts and then solidifies, then it's gonna be that glass like texture everybody knows from ceramics, like dinner plates, ceramic cups, all of those. It's a really weird thing that it's like powdery right now, and then the powder is going to melt. But that's what it's doing, and that's what I was talking about with it running. If like, because it melts, some glazes will like melt down and like kind of like drip down, or like kind of like move down the pot. Some of them just won't. Some of them don't move at all. Some of them move a lot. It just depends. And like when you layer glazes on top of each other, they're definitely gonna move like a lot more probably than if they were on their own. Also, as you can see, I'm trying to go in the same direction. We're doing horizontal brush strokes, and then with the other coats, we're going to go vertical, and then we're going to go horizontal again. It's really important to do that when you're brush glazing because you want it to have that variability, just to make sure you got everything and you don't have any like spots that are missing glaze or have less glaze on them. With this one specifically, I'm trying to avoid putting too much on at the same time because like it dries so fast. It's like it's kind of leaving these like streaks, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. It's also drying very quickly on my brush too. My brush is like getting kind of like goopy. Oh, and I don't know if I'll really care to like show it on the video, but the way that I'm cleaning either like this bat when it has like glaze like fallen on it, like dried glaze on it, or when I'm cleaning my brushes, what I'm going to do is I have like a little cup like this. Like these are specific for my ceramic stuff. Like I'm not gonna go, like you cannot go between ceramic things and then using that same item for food. Like that, it's not a good idea. So I bought these specifically for art stuff, and I just put some water in it. The way I clean my brush is I like stab in there with the water, and then I kind of like flick the bristles and stuff, and then this glaze water is going to go into my glaze bucket, and like I don't know. I just let it sit there, and then it dries out, and then like you could well, it's probably not the best idea to be like breaking it and disposing of it at that point. I mean, you should probably wear a mask if you are. But like you can do that, kind of like dispose of it in that state. There are different things that you could do with like the contents of that bucket. Some people will add water to it specifically and then coat a pot with it, and then it's just like mystery glazed pot. It's like there's a bunch of stuff in here, who knows what it's gonna look like, and you just get what you get. Some people like to do that. Some people will have like maybe kind of like a cup, like a tumbler kind of thing, and just dump quite a bit of the glaze in there and then fire it, and then you can just like throw it in the trash at that point. I don't have like a huge like production going on here, so there's not a whole lot in there in my bucket. it just, like all of the water just like dries up after a while because I'm not glazing very often. Another thing you could do is like take it to a special place locally that will dispose of it. What is that called? Okay, like I forgot what it's called exactly, but like somebody that does kind of like waste management, they probably offer like not to put it in the trash into a landfill, but they will dispose of it properly for you. That's probably like what studios do. They have of a lot of that going on. That a lot of that kind of waste. I've heard it's pretty expensive to do, so some of the other options are a bit better. I think like cost wise. But just so you know, you do not want to put glazed water, underglazed water into your sink because it's just bad for the ecosystem. Because it's gonna go into like whatever, like it's gonna go into the ground, it's gonna go into the local lakes and the ponds, and it's like bad for the ecosystem. That's why you don't want to do it. Just so you know. I think most people know that, but for any beginners. Okay. I'm trying, it's kind of hard because I'm trying to like do it so you guys can see, but I also need to see. I'm trying to see if there are any like kind of like spots. It's very patchy. Trying to see if there are any spots on here. I think we're pretty good for the outside, and then we're gonna do the inside. So let's see. Let's see if my brush can fit. Also, I'm sorry, you guys probably can't see how much you can see. So for this, I think I'm basically going to do like the 3 coats, kind of like turn it at different angles to like see where it is. You guys might not be able to get that much detail from the video. Also, the glaze looks so similar to just like the white body. So what I'm going to do is like put the 3 coats in here, and then because this is like a little vase and it is hard to get in here, what I do is I'll just like run my finger around on the inside once we have like the 3 coats in there. I'll just kind of see if there are any bare spots, especially like this area, but like on the inside, where it might be hard for my brush to reach. I'll just kind of feel around in there and see. See how that is going. And then if there are any bare spots, okay, I don't know if it's like for sure okay to do, but I just like grab some glaze from my finger and like dab it in there. I think that's okay. You don't really, I don't think you really want to like leave glaze on you because, well, some people might forget, your skin is an organ and it will absorb the stuff that's on it. So if you have glaze just sitting on your skin, your body will absorb that. And you don't really want to do that. Most glazes these days do not have lead in them. Some things will have lead in them. Not very many, but like, I feel like I saw on the lusters, those have lead maybe. But it's just, there are a lot of like things in glazes, and it's just not really recommended to just leave it on. Of course, there are people that will dip glaze and then they end up having glaze on their hands. Shino especially will burn after a while on your hands. That's just a type of glaze. I'm gonna say this for underglaze too, because I would say generally, if it's not supposed to go into the ecosystem for fish, it should not go into you. I'll just, for anyone that's like unsure, I'm just gonna use that as a rule of thumb. Like, don't be putting underglaze on you either. Just go wash it off and it'll be fine. But like, if it's just sitting there on you for a while, then it's gonna have that time to soak into your skin, and you probably just don't want that. The confusion that I've heard from people around me, that they're kind of like, they don't really like, they get kind of like confused about like the glaze process and stuff. Right now, when it's wet, it's powdery, it's not safe. Like, because like people will be like, oh, well, you're putting it on, you know, a plate to be eaten off of. You're putting it on a cup or a mug to be used. But the difference is that this is a different state of the glaze, and when the glaze is fired, it changes states. It's chemically like changing, kind of like how when you put cookie dough in the oven, you bake it and then it's like completely different after. It's kind of like that in a way. So because once you put your ceramics into the kiln, the silica, which is glass, the silica inside of it is melting, and then it forms that, you know, the glass-like coating that you see on ceramics. Like, it's basically like glass, and that is holding in any of those potentially harmful things that would otherwise not really be good for you to be putting food on. Some glazes, even after they are fired, they're not food safe. They make that pretty obvious on the bottles, the bottle of the glaze, on the label and stuff. Whether it's like food safe, dinnerware safe, that kind of a thing. And I guess we'll just kind of like talk about that too. I was kind of like confused earlier about the difference between it being food safe and dinnerware safe. And just so you guys know, like, dinnerware safe means that, like, so a glaze could be food safe, but it might not be dinnerware safe. And that means that the glaze is known to change and like maybe crack, or the finish will change if you are repeatedly like scraping knives and forks and whatnot on it. And like the coating is going to change and then be less effective in being just like safe. Like when you have cracks and stuff in your pottery, even really, really tiny cracks, like some people don't care. It's really personal preference, but mold can get into those cracks, and it's really kind of hard to wash it out because the cracks are just so tiny. I have actually I can like show you just real quick because I know it's kind of like kind of a weird thing. So okay, I grabbed this out of my dishwasher, so it is dirty. But this mug that I have, you can see it has cracks in the bottom of it, and you can see that they're not white. Like you can see they're discolored, and there's probably mold in there, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's okay. I don't know. I do wash it, obviously, but it's like you just have like such tiny cracks in there, and obviously that would gross some people out. I don't know if I care, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. And sometimes ceramics will do that if they're exposed to heat. So hot coffee always going into that mug has caused it to do that. It didn't look like that when I bought it. So it's kind of unfortunate because I didn't know, obviously, that it was going to look like that after use. I don't know. I don't know if I really care. I guess if I think about it too much, it's kind of gross, but I don't know. Like, I wash it and stuff, and it doesn't make me sick. I'm okay. I don't know. I'll just have all you guys judge me, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Just because we're on the topic, and I love examples, personally. Okay. So, we've almost got a second coat on here. Do. My brush is like getting like, it's very chunky with, it's just like full of this glaze. If I like rinsed it in my little cup thing, it would be quite a bit better. Okay, are we almost all the way around it? Almost there. So yeah. I'm really excited to finish up what I've got. I have 13 pieces that are done with the glazing process, and they're ready to go into the kiln. They're very small, so they're not like, it's not a full batch to bring. And well, I do have like some test tiles that are ready. But I'm hoping to get this done like soon. I thought I was gonna be done with this over the weekend, and I spent hours and hours and hours. Like, well, I was still planning stuff out on Friday and Saturday, like Saturday morning. I was still like planning what glazes I wanted to use. I would think, I mean, you can be like disorganized if you want. But for me, it's just easier to have all of them planned out and then get started. I actually have a spreadsheet of like of all of them cataloged, because I have a lot of stuff right now. There's a lot. And I'm going to forget what went on what. So I just have, I have a spreadsheet that lists them all out. And it'll say like small pinch pot, cup, small sized ring dish, just kind of like general stuff like that. And then like what glaze went on top, what glaze went on the bottom, or if there was underglaze. And then I have some notes for if the glaze was kind of weird when I was applying it, something like that. So I have a bunch of stuff. But I'm really excited to get them, to bring them to the place, to the studio, and then get them back and show you guys how they're looking. The studio is closed today and tomorrow because that's like their weekend. So I won't be able, like the soonest I could bring the stuff there would be on Wednesday, this Wednesday. So we'll just have to wait, but hopefully I actually have a bunch of this done. I kind of just want to get it out of my space and like be done with it. Because I have a lot of things sitting everywhere. I have stuff sitting on the hamster cage that has been knocked around a few times. Some things fell. Not the most, that it's not ideal. So I just kind of like want to like have it done and like, you know, whatever. So we got our second coat done. Okay, so we're gonna do a third coat. And we're going to go in the opposite direction again. So we're going to go up and down. And then like the more layers you have on here, the slower it is to dry. So it's not quite drying as fast because when it was directly on the bisque, like the bisque is super dry. Like, if you put a drop of water on it, it just dries up instantly. But now, it doesn't quite have, I mean, it is, like, powdery under it right now, but it's not quite as, like, I don't know. Moisture hungry? I don't know. So we get a little bit more time to coat it before it dries completely. Sometimes when you're glazing, you have to wait a little while for it to dry. In between coats. I am looking at it. And this is like drying very quickly. But if say you were dipping your glaze in two glazes, you probably will need to like let the first one sit for a few minutes until it's fully dry before you add the other one. But I'm looking at it. I can see that it is dry. It will be a tiny bit darker if it wasn't dry. That is something that you have to watch out for on underglaze. The first couple, like, okay. I'm gonna get, I don't know, probably a bunch of people on YouTube being like, what the heck, or something. I don't know, I'm always scared of YouTube people. But, so for the underglaze, I think, what does this thing say? Does it even say like how many coats you should do? No, it doesn't. This thing it doesn't even say how many coats you're like supposed to use. I think because it doesn't matter to an extent. If you put too many coats, whatever that means, if you put too many coats on it, I can't quite remember what happens, but it's not good. Maybe it cracks or something. I can't remember. I haven't had an issue with the 5-coat thing yet. A few of my pieces have underglaze on them, like full on coats, not just little pictures and stuff. So I think 5 is okay, but I don't know, maybe it depends on the underglaze that you have, like the brand and stuff. But I don't know. It's always just, I don't know, it's always best to just, experiment, see how your supplies are working for you, because the brands can differ a little bit sometimes. But anyway, like, once you get, like, maybe, like, the more coats of underglaze you have on there, the longer it takes to dry, and it dries a lot slower than glaze. Just so you know. So sometimes, like, when I'm working on those, I have to, like, set it aside for, like, maybe 5 minutes and then come back to it to do the next coat. Okay, so I'm gonna like kind of like feel around in here with my finger. That angle is really quite steep, so I'm gonna just like add some glaze in there and just kind of like globbing it. I don't really know like how much, but if there was nothing there beforehand, like kind of get like 3 coats worth or so. This glaze says that you can do like 2 to 3 coats is good. So we're just kind of guessing. If this was something you're drinking out of, you definitely want to make sure it has the adequate coverage. Oh, dang. We are at time. You want to make sure it has adequate coverage if you are using it to drink out of, because you don't want bare clay exposed to the drink. It's just going to like soak some of that up, and then it's going to grow mold inside of the clay. Even though it's like fired and stuff, it's kind of like I don't know, it's just kind of like that other thing. You don't really want that. I'm gonna like touch this up a little bit. So this looks like very uneven, but it should be okay. I think it's going to kind of like meld together quite a bit when it's fired. So you guys might be looking at it and be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be really streaky, but it should meld together quite nicely in the firing, and I'm not worried about it. I think it's gonna be fine, and I'd love to show you guys like the results that we get once I get them back from the kiln. We're gonna have to do quite a few batches. Like, I'm guessing maybe 3 to 4 batches. What I can take to the studio in the car, I'm like holding it like in the car when we go there. So that's like half a kiln shelf. I don't want to like overload them, even if I could like physically bring more than the 1 kiln shelf there, because then it's like an entire like level that I'm taking up with my work in the kiln. So I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm just gonna bring them in like that half kiln shelf batch. And we're gonna have to do like 3 or 4 batches. Maybe maybe I'll add a few more, try get 3. But yeah. I'm sorry we only glazed like one piece. Sometimes it really depends on like the glaze. This one dries super fast and it's just latching on, so it's a little bit hard to just grab a large glob and just like throw it on there. But I don't know. It's kind of cool to show you guys the process of what I do. When I put this on YouTube, hopefully no one's like too mean, because a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people do not share their process, because you definitely put yourself out there for like trolls and stuff. So anyway, nice to see you, Robert. We'll probably, if I have more to do with glazing tomorrow, I'll just do that on the stream, because I want to get this done and out of the way. So if anybody watching on Twitch, thank you so much for watching and being here, and supporting my channel. Be sure to follow along so you know when I jump on for a stream. We're scheduled for weekdays 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And then sometimes I'll randomly jump on if I want to stream after work or something. And then all of the videos will be uploaded to YouTube at Callie & Co. into the stream archive playlist, where you can see, I think there's 34 videos on there right now. So that's 34 like hours that you can watch me doing things, ceramic things. Yeah, be sure to subscribe there, so you know when I upload new videos. We have a new video coming up on this Thursday that's going to be released in the morning Pacific time, around lunch Eastern time, and that's going to be how to make a slab built plate. It's kind of like slab building, sort of pinching a bit, and yeah. And then I don't know, I have like a couple other like tutorials and other ceramic related videos, or maybe art, just like general art, or maybe small business type stuff on the YouTube channel. So yeah, be sure to subscribe there and like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys later.